Regina Salas, Julie Comnick, Angie Grubb,
Here, all 9.
Cody Half Moon,
Here.
Michael Marquez,
Here.
Jamie Thousand.
Here.
Thank you so much. As a reminder, if you're carrying a cell phone, computer, or other sound device, we ask that you turn it off to minimize the disruption to today's meeting. Do we have any local check-ins? Let's start with Councilmember Aslan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I do not have anything.
Nice to have you here. Thanks for being here. Commissioners, do you have any check-ins, announcements that we want to share before we get started? Perfect. Moving. We got a lot talked about today. Everybody should have received the minutes from November, and it feels like it was a really long time ago because we didn't have a meeting in December. But I do need a motion to approve those.
I move to approve those minutes from November.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Excellent. There's a motion to approve and a second. Do we have any discussion? Everyone in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Excellent. The minutes have been approved unanimously for November 25th. Next item on the agenda is the FY27 Sales and Marketing Plan discussion and vote. We had some discussion during our retreat just a couple weeks ago, and I know that questions were submitted from the commission to our director, Trace, and Trace did respond to those and copied all of us. We feel like we have everything answered that we need to answer, and can we get a motion of approval?
Madam Chair, may I ask staff a question? The visitor center, the 2.2 to 3 days, I think that's a very aspirational goal. And I think it's quite unreasonable to ask the visitor center team to increase 36% in overnight stays in 1 year in a terrible market. Sorry to say, but that's just the way it is. I would like to, I think it's still a very laudable goal because of all the trickle down economics that come from that. But I would like to see it a very modest 0.1%. It would be a 5% increase, which is achievable, but still a little bit lofty going into a year with headwinds.
So, Commissioner, you're saying to a 2.3.
Because a KPI should be achievable. If it's just laughable and not even possible, it's very difficult to get crew to be excited to try to meet a goal.
Are you loud and clear?
My thought is that you guys know the market overall. You've done this for a very long time. I don't know if you're intentionally going to throw goals out there that aren't going to be met.
Well, that's true and not true. Michael's right. That is probably unattainable. We've always said 3 is our sort of shiny hill, city on the hill. And that's why we do that. They're not bonused, right? So that would change the dynamic of the goal. If they were bonused on it, then it changed the dynamic. But we hear you, and our action in terms of trying to get more overnight stays and longer stays won't change because of this. So we're good with making it realistic. Any other questions or follow up on the questions that were asked of us for the presentation in general for FY27? Is there any other discussion around that? I want to make sure that everyone's heard prior to a vote being put on the floor.
I could handle it in a motion.
I do want to make mention that Vice Chair Salas and Commissioner Comnic are here as well.
Noted. Motion has been put on the floor.
So I would move to take the recommendations of staff, amending that we go from 2.2 to 2.3 days as a KPI for visitor services. And I would further reduce the film budget by $35,000 and add that to the earned media budget, where I believe it will have a greater impact across our visitation.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and have that be our line item in the budget to be moved. Okay. Any discussion around that?
35 is right.
He is traveling.
Ah.
Yeah, but he's on board. He can utilize that money effectively and
Great.
we truly usually don't spend that each year anyways at this point. A film is such a slow crawl. And so we're fine. We're okay with
I
that.
forgot my last recommendation. That's why I wrote it down. It was to add a one-time ask for $8,000 towards Flag Local to get more promotion of our work that we're doing at Discover Flagstaff out to the public.
Community.
That initiative that was taken previous, like, here's why it's important, here's why tourism is important.
Where the money goes, sort of thing.
Yes.
How this saves out of general funds, those sorts of important things that our fellow citizens should know.
Chair, if I may add, so we appreciate that and we're definitely going to be strategizing on that. Michael and Jamie both gave some really helpful advice on that. And so just for the staff to hear it and the other commissioners, it's kind of like taking what we did with the BBB renewal campaign and kind of adapting it to the Flagstaff local campaign. So we're not getting back into, BBB so much as we're just saying when someone eats or, dines at a restaurant or frequents a bar or what have you, or goes to an attraction, it in turn helps to keep the fields maintained at the parks, and it does this for the arts, and it does this for business retention and expansion. And just to continue to remind the community by, going and eating somewhere or drinking somewhere, that this is definitely creating a better quality life for them. And so we're going to combine those two efforts for you, and we will come up with something and show it to the commission for approval and kind of go from there. And I think we could start that honestly even before July, to kind of look at that a little bit. We'll have to see what Lori has in her budget to be able to do something. I know Jamie, at one point you said maybe the local buses, because we already do a program and things like that. So we'll look at that, but we'll be able to be really more robust starting July.
Yeah, I'll add that I think the buy-in from locals to support tourism efforts is gonna be really important, because we might have to do even more to make up for maybe some headwinds that were mentioned. And if we could have the locals sort of buy-in for why tourism is so critical in Flagstaff, I think that could be a
We used
good
to,
reality for them too.
we used to do a, don't gag on this, but I loved it. We used to do a Hug a Visitor campaign. And we did that during a time where people were like, I see one more visitor on Milton during the snow trying to go up Humphreys. And we were like, gosh, you should want to hug them. Thank them.
We got criticized for
Yeah.
the outfit that our model
Yes.
in the.
Yeah. They liked the campaign. They got critical about some of the
They said
outfits,
some
but
mean things about her. We're like, oh.
we will take that. Oh, we always take that into account when we redo this, but it was a really great campaign because people would tell me they'd see this and they're like, you know what, I'm looking at a visitor in a whole different way. I'm not as I mean, we're still irritated, right? If we're in traffic or what have you, but we're also realizing it's kind of like the cash register is going.
Yeah.
When you see that.
Right.
And so I think we're gonna really be able to create some things here that you're gonna really love. And I know that Trace is committed to bringing this back to this group for you to take a look at it. So I really appreciate the input.
Great job when we were pushing for that vote to sustain, was it the PPP? I mean, the campaign was obviously a success. The vote went through. I mean, so you'll know what you're doing and how to do it well. And I think that the impressiveness of that campaign is like, how do we take that success and like imbue it more often and more frequently? So I love the idea.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
I would wear the shirt.
You would, I'll make you one.
I would wear it.
I'll make you one.
I think
Um,
you're just gonna always be a slice of pie.
Yeah.
You're branded.
We did so many, it's been 13 years for me that I'm kind of excited about like bringing this back up. So thank you. And I'm excited about the things that we could do and the chatter that we can create and all that. But I do think it's important, Jamie and Michael have been very vocal to me about it. And I think that it is something that should just be ongoing. We should not take our foot off that pedal of letting them know that their quality of life is being changed by this industry. So thank you.
Well, it furthers any, you and I had talked, and what I said in the last meeting, it's about not taking our foot off the gas. It's how quickly we recover, right? That's, and while everyone's freaking out, the sky's falling, as we said, the sky is falling. It's the recovery is so much quicker. And when people understand the money behind it and where it all goes, I agree with you. Like you and I said, it's kind of an over. But the community needs to understand when they're at a park playing with their kid, or they're somewhere else that's publicly funded, to go, wow, this is cool. Maybe it's that little logo at a park that they look and they're like, I know what that means.
Hey, and you know what? I'm so happy you brought that up. If you go by, and I'm pretty darn sure it's on there already. If you go by something like the Aspen Niche in downtown, we purposely put the BBB logo on it so people know how it was funded. And so that's something Jana Weldon's program in beautification and arts and science is doing, is when they do a mural or they have an art piece that is capable of having that logo on it. It was our intention to do that. If you see us, if you see us, I had to check mine too. I do it all day. And you know, it's funny. I do it so long that when my husband tries calling me, he's like, why don't you ever pick up your phone? And I'm like, it's not you. But we're trying to also figure out, like, if you see something that we've sponsored or promoted, our BBB logo, the intent, and we have a whole guideline that Jennifer Schauber put together for us, it's supposed to be there. And I think I saw a website on Pioneer, bless you, museum that needs to be fixed. So somebody here want to fix that, that would be great. But that was our commitment, that we changed the BBB logo and things that we do around the community, whether it's in print or it's, something static, we were going to put that logo on there so people knew what those dollars were going to. So I'm going to commit with my team that works on this to do a better job at that and to share more of that with you so that you can see that those dollars matter. And if you see some things that you knew that were BBB and you're not seeing that, please let us know and we'll try to fix that.
Sorry, guys, someone is, community members trying to get into the meeting. That's what we're discussing.
Yeah, I don't.
I asked him to try again. Okay.
We've had a motion, make sure I have this correct, to reduce let me start this one. The visitor center visitation from 2.2 to 2.3 nights. So we're actually reducing the original number, but it's still increasing the number of nights. Visits, we're gonna reduce the film budget by 35,000 and move it to earned media, thank you. And then a one-time ask of $8,000 to go towards Flagstaff.
Correct.
Do we have a second? Second that. Excellent. We have a motion to move to approve the fiscal year 27 sales and marketing plan. And with the amended language, thank you. Do we have any discussion? We have a second as well. Do we have any discussion? All right, let's vote. Everybody who approves, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say aye. Perfect. We have a unanimous vote. Thank you very much.
And thank you for allowing us the extra time.
No,
Yeah.
you deserve it. Honestly, I totally got you.
The discussion was so great.
Yes.
The ideas are super. Thank you.
We're gonna move to item G. Discussion, one to discuss with oh no, I'm sorry, I'm jumping. Action B, my term is up as chair with the Tourism Commission. And, I am kindly being booted to the side. So we do need to have a discussion and a motion for a new chair and vice chair. And I want to put in a nomination for our vice chair, Regina Salas, to take over as chair, starting next month after this meeting.
I would like to nominate Cody Half Moon to be the chair.
And then we vote.
Yeah, if you have two nominees, then you have to put in a vote.
You have to accept the nomination first.
Okay, sorry.
And I also want to throw out what we typically do if there's more than one, is we allow them a few words on if they want to be and why. And then we kind of have the discussion. And sometimes we even allow them to leave the room for that discussion. So it just depends on you, Trace, but if, or, you know, however you guys want to do
I
it.
want you,
We've done that in other commissions that way.
yeah, that makes good sense. I want you guys to be comfortable with the process.
Mhm.
So, any of the above we've discussed is fine with staff. You just have to determine what's going to work for the commission.
Well, let's start with the first nomination. Questioner Salas, is this a nomination that you would consider?
Yeah, I'm honored, privileged to be promoted as chair. It's kind of like the natural progression on this role, but everyone knows me here. I have, I Heart Flagstaff has been engraved in my career long before I was elected on council, actually. And I've continued the role in terms of promoting visit, discover, grow in Flagstaff, and my other evolving roles as its president of Flagstaff Sister Cities, which is a direct partner of our Discover Flagstaff and the city, as well as the Northern Arizona Lodging Tourism and Restaurant Association.
Thank you.
And I remain in contact also with our partners with the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, as well as ACLT, which is the Arizona Lodging Tourism Association.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've enjoyed, has it been 3 years here on the commission somehow already? Yeah, no, thank you. It's an honor to be nominated. I have, y'all know who I am, a vested, I guess, just like I think everybody at the table, but very, very invested in making Flagstaff a success when it comes to tourism, both for my own organization and career and just love of the city. The connections that I have are mostly to more of like the business ownership side of it and working with like local businesses and Business Downtown Alliance, obviously with the city here. But I think I echo the same goals and I would hope the same goals of everybody who has a seat in this room of just ensuring that Flagstaff continues to prosper and to grow through tourism and storytelling of who we are and why we deserve a spot of people's time and money when they come up.
Why don't you two just take a step outside? There's some fun seats out there. And we'll bring you back in, but we'll
go gossip about y'all. Just have a question.
Will the vice chair be a completely separate nomination?
Mhm. Or you could vote that you want to put, you prefer one as chair, one as vice, or however you want to do that, if it seems like there's a consensus.
Thank you.
Time for discussion.
I'll discuss. I love Regina and this, I did not nominate Cody because I don't like Regina. She is amazing. But right now, I think we need to be exceptionally savvy and looking forward at all of the challenges that we are going to face as Flagstaff. Not even as Discover Flagstaff, but as Flagstaff. Whether it's federal dollars not rolling down, whether it's decreased international travel, I think we need someone that is pretty sharp. Cody had her own marketing firm. She's done very well with Lowell. And I appreciate that she has skin in the game. Several of us around the table obviously are representing various businesses. We all have skin in the game. And I think that's important at this time for the coming year. Thank you.
I'd probably, similar statements to Michael, I'd probably go a step further to say that I think Regina also has a lot of ties to other organizations. Alfra, different business organizations, the organizations she mentioned as well. I think that is also incredibly important that that whoever's running, whoever's the chair has been involved in multiple Flagstaff organizations. And I do see Regina as being that person as well. She's definitely always out there. She's always jumping on another board, trying to be tied into the community as much as possible. So both great nominations, but I think that Regina has skin in the game in a different way.
I would agree with that.
I'll just share what's on my mind. No, I really appreciate both of the nominations. Being newer to the commission, I feel like they're both super strong and regardless of rank, I think that they'll continue to hold this commission accountable. I do appreciate Regina bringing a diverse perspective. That's one of the when I filled out the initial form to apply for this position, I was steadfast that diversity is something I would want to bring as a focal point to this. So I think her relationship with the Asian Alliance and the other businesses, I personally would support Regina as chair and Cody as vice chair, if that's an option. Thanks.
Okay.
Angie.
Angie. Oh, Angie.
Didn't know if I should just jump in or raise the hand. But yes, I appreciate this whole discussion. I would agree with all of you. I think truthfully, I do not know Regina as well as I know Cody. But I do know Cody on a very individual level through partnerships and very, very specialized conversations. Whereas Regina, I know that she does have just a depth of knowledge and she has been a part of many different organizations, boards, councils. And so overall, I would agree with Julie as well. If there was an option to have Regina as our chair and Cody as our vice chair, I would support that.
We can make that as a nomination as well at the same time, can't we?
Yep.
If that's something that we want to do.
What you could first do is ask for a vote. How many for Regina? How many for Cody?
Okay.
And then you could always go back and then say, is there a vote for one being chair, one being vice chair as well? And then we could just do it that way. So we're not assuming everybody wants the one vote, but if you think that you have a majority, go for that too.
Okay. Are we ready to vote? Do we want any more discussion? Okay. Then the vote to have, we'll start with Regina as chair. Everybody, can we raise our hands, say aye?
Yeah, or you could ask them to take vocalize it, like if they want to, that's easier for you.
Yeah. That way we have a. Okay, and everybody who is in favor of having Regina as being the chair starting next month, wouldn't say aye. I'll say aye too.
Aye.
Angie? Okay, and then everybody who's in favor of having Commissioner Half Moon as being chair starting next month, please say aye.
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 And aye. And then
You can't vote twice.
you can't vote twice, yeah,
Oh,
Angie.
sorry. I thought
I
you
vote
voted
twice.
per position, so.
So it's Regina, all right, for
Okay.
chair. Now you can decide if you want to just not make Cody go through this again and have her as vice chair, or if there's other people that are interested in vice chair, then we need to have that discussion.
Okay. Well, first, do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I will nominate Cody for vice chair.
I love it.
I'll second that.
All right. Any other, are we good? Angie?
I would also, I would support that.
Perfect. Let's have a vote to request Cody to be our vice chair. And everybody who approves, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That
Aye.
one's unanimous. Perfect. Okay.
I'll bring her back, the mid back.
They're halfway to the bar already.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
Ellen, Angie's hand is still up. I don't know if she has.
I said I emailed Carrie requesting a link.
He emailed?
So
Perfect. We've had a discussion and a vote. And what we would like to move forward with is have
Maybe it's on my
Gina
junk email. No?
be our incoming chair and then Cody, you be our vice chair. Are we good with this?
But I think though, you would recommend, is that just suggested how it goes, or you said that you would have a recommendation for vice chair? As the previous, just skipped over that. Okay.
You did it.
Okay.
We discussed and voted.
Okay.
Great. Just for the record, I would have nominated you as vice chair.
I think was this, say this is Carrie on Trace's.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you both.
Chair, are we allowed to go back to that one item on BBB signage? Because
Yeah.
Jennifer Schauber, our creative services person who helped us with BBB, had written in here, and I didn't see it. But she's saying that the city park welcome signs have been designed that prominently feature the BBB logo beneath parks and rules regulations, and they will be placed in all 26 city parks over the coming months. That is very exciting, and congrats to Parks for having that on there. And Jennifer, thank you for helping with that. So I just wanted to say that they're obviously working on trying to get that out as much as possible so people know how it's funded. Thank you.
No, that's great. Thank you. I didn't realize we had 26 city parks. All right, moving to agenda item G. There was discussion regarding Tourism Commission and what we would like to see agendized on the agenda for future monthly meetings. And my understanding was that we wanted to kind of move away from maybe the check-in and add in a SWAT in place of that.
I think ideally, so like we do our check-in now, but I think ideally more time for discussion. I think right now it's kind of rushed or we're always sort of behind in presentation. So, so instead of, I know sometimes we have like guest speakers, and I'd like to put in a request that instead of that time for checking in and guest speakers, which maybe we need to have some of that set aside, we set like 20 minutes aside to discuss things that we're concerned about from a tourism perspective, from your professional perspectives and your fields, from the things that we've heard in town to bring forward and discuss, like a risks and opportunities SWOT, you know.
Sure, and we can do that per month by vertical if you want. It would only be what it would be is we'd come in and have 5 slides, and it would just say, for each vertical, it would say current risks, challenges, boom, they would tell you what's that is. It'd be one statement or two, something like that. And then we could ensue a discussion around it per vertical.
I personally love that. But
It's hugely necessary. We've never had this much rumble out of DC before, caused such waves that are rolling here. And when you guys think of it, and this is very personal to me, because when tourism is down in Arizona, it doesn't just hurt our tap room. It hurts all of our commercial accounts all across the state. This is a big deal, and we need to be on top of anything. There's some things we're not going to be able to do, but at least if we're talking about them, we can be looking for ways around it. And that would be great.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind us also, I know we don't have proper KPIs, but on our tactics, I would love to see reporting on how are the tactics going every month. Where are we making dents in our overall goals? Where we may be struggling, and we need to look at some of those. Are these still realistic at 6 months, or do we need to reassess? Because just putting a plan on cruise control for a year with waiting to see at the end of the year is, I don't think, a good use of this commission's time. If we're not weighing in and helping you guys with our experience, then I think that's a miss for the crew here.
I'd like to,
Go ahead.
Commissioner Lori Pappas, Marketing and Media Relations Manager. I do like that. I do have to insert though, that I feel like through our monthly meetings, you should be gleaning that information. So the fact that you don't think you are, maybe it's not as clear. So for instance,
Yours is exactly, some of the tactics are not as clean cut where we can measure them. I think that's some of the,
my tactics are very measurable.
yours, yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Well, sometimes what happens is we measure attribution, what we can attribute to our efforts. And that has limitations within the measurement. It's not, we don't sell tickets to a movie theater. We can't measure and count the tickets and be like, we got 86. That's exactly what we got. We do our best to give you, here's what impact, what's
The big data.
the big data. It's a little bit tough. Not that changes anything. We'll still report what we can, right? To say this tactic worked. It's, going towards this goal. It's just always in our world, like the world of marketing, it's a little bit difficult to be perfect on these stats. So I just want to throw that out, but
Yeah, and like some of the Datify stats, so that is to what Trace too, just adding to what he's saying, is that's a snapshot of what we're doing on that platform. So for instance, we're also running digital on perhaps television, whether it's linear or whether it's over the top. So those are going to be different metrics from Datify. They're both digital, but Datify isn't going to be representing what OTT or CTV is. They do share those results, but separately. So, but
so what
I
if,
got you.
yeah, but what if we took what you're saying and really sort of just streamlined it and made it digestible to say, here's this tactic, here's what we did, here's the results, and here's what goal it's going towards.
Yeah, I guess the easiest one would be social media. And social media is it's very clear cut. We want this much growth on followers and this much more in engagement, which I think are two excellent goals, by the way. If I didn't say that last week, because impressions don't rock my world, engagement is like, yes, we got someone in there, but I think those are very clear cut. How are we doing? We're now 3 months into the new year, quarter in. Are we on track to hit our point? Was it 0.3? I forget now. I thought it was
3%.
3%. There we go. I had the 3. But those are, I think that gives us some play where this group can advise then if we see, oh, hey, this is doing great. And we're like, yeah, we need to go find more money for you and let's go more. Or conversely, this is not going well. Oh, well, we've seen that didn't go well. We did it. We tried this instead. I just think there's a fair amount of people that wear multiple hats in their businesses here, marketing on one day and running the grill on the other.
Okay.
So would it be helpful, because I know your slides now have the focus that you're working towards. Would it be helpful if we had the goal actually written on there?
Well, as I put in the email for you guys, is that we plan on creating, we need the slides for a variety of reasons, okay? Not just for tourism commission. We like the timestamp because I can go back 2 years later and say, what did we do in December? And we can look at that, and we do that. So it's good for that. It's also good for folks who want to see all of that. And it's also good for folks who are in the public. And we repurpose those slides anyways, because we have other presentations we give and we pull right from them. So those slides, I want them to become more self-explanatory for you guys. That way I can send that packet out to you and we can make changes like you were describing, really trying to get it digestible of here's what we did, here's the result, here's the goal it went against. Continue, don't continue kind of conversation. You guys can look at it and say, I'm good with all of them. I don't need to talk about any of the slides. Or you can say, you can write down the slides you want to review. That way, when we're reviewing, it's straight from you guys. You're telling us what you want to see. We've sent it a week ahead of time. We've made them self-explanatory, and I think it's going to make it more smooth that way. And we can employ what you're talking about in those slides. Give us a chance to do that, and then take a peek at it and say, yeah, that's what I mean, or here would be helpful kind of stuff. Does that work for the group?
Yeah, I appreciate that because I always try to look at them ahead of time anyway. So typically I've seen what you got.
Yeah, and we're committed. You'll get it a week. You'll get it a week out. So you have a full week to peek at it, aside from the annual, which you'll get 2 weeks.
It is so helpful,
Yeah, super.
because then if you're, morning coffee, when I'm going through all the emails, I want to just sit there and look through. It's like Heidi's report too. It's a 2-cupper.
It is,
Oh,
it's like, it's 20 pages long and I don't have the heart to tell people like, it's a lot, but I want people to get as much information as possible. And I have a lot of people that say they learn a lot about what we do just by being able to glance at what they want or whatever.
Okay.
One of the things I wanted to throw out with this whole conversation, and I think this is really good. So when Trace sends you that in a week in advance, he would then maybe say, hey, for the commission meeting, we're going to talk a little bit more about social media. Or, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about, more about media relations or whatever. Sometimes though, it will be hard, right? When someone has a goal to show instant ROI or success. So I hope that you will give us some grace here that it might be something Isabel tried and she's not sure it's working yet. But she can show you what she's working on and then you can weigh in. And then maybe it's 3 months from now that Isabel goes, oh, I think I have some success to share here or whatever. But I can say it's sometimes hard to get instant numbers back every month to show true ROI because some of these programs just take a longer time to grow. And I think that it's,
Yeah,
you know
for
what it's like.
international, the numbers are highly delayed from the Arizona Office of Tourism and
Yeah.
from the Survey of International Air Travelers. So, but I do check in with tour operators and I do get bookings and numbers often from them, but it's an ask because it's usually proprietary information. So they have to want to share it with me.
Yeah, so she could come and do something maybe per Trace's request, that she might not have all of the numbers to say, oh, she's meeting this goal right now. But hopefully at the end of the year, they've done that. So I just don't want to get anybody thinking that every time they have a meeting, they can always show you ROI because it might not be that easy. Even with my report, the reason you get a December report so late into January is I'm waiting on Smith Travel numbers and some airport employment numbers that we're reliant on the airlines for. Would I like to get it to you much sooner? Of course I would, but that's just the way that is showing up. So I'm just saying the team's gonna try to do their best to show you that balance.
But that's what we need to see is we need
Okay.
to see where's our goal and then the trailing data and are we going in the right direction?
Fair enough, good enough. That's stuff that's stuff we love to see too. So it's all good. It fits well. I did say that we would commit at the end of every meeting to talk about topics for next and sort of emphasize what do you guys want to see for next month? Or there, and that could be you want, Dave McIntyre to come talk about business attraction or retention or any of those sorts of things, or Jeff works for Dave, or whatever the case may be, the airport, could be Rick Tatter to talk about, forecast. Have Rick Tatter come. So that could be a request as well.
I like that.
Rick's gonna be doing a presentation at the February retreat. And so you could easily probably come and regurgitate some of that. If you guys don't want to sit in on the council retreat, you could do that here for you as well.
Yeah, the BBB forecast is, I think, very crucial since that is our lifeblood of money.
Yeah, he says he's working on it now. So,
Yeah, he could tell you the health of the rest of the city. There's so many different funds in what we call color of money, and he could come and explain that. When people say, why can't you do da 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 da? Well, HERF restricts you from that. You can't use HERF funds for, doing something in the park. You could talk to how the outlook of the general fund is looking. I mean, I just went through it the other day, I could tell you right now, but what I'm saying is he could come and just do the same presentation that he's doing for them so that you have a better idea of, all the moving parts of our budget system.
so maybe like a March would be a good tourism commission to have Rick come.
I think it'd be a good one, yeah.
I think Dave would be good too.
Let me throw out this out. March might not be good because he's going into division review meetings, so ask him first. Yeah, I just don't want them to think Rick doesn't want to come. Rick is gonna be so busy through April, finishing up all the budget for next fiscal. So he might say yes, he might have to wait.
But the report he produces, I'm gonna send to you because it's for public consumption. So that will get sent to you the day I get it. And he says like early March, you'd have that.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll go from there.
And the council's budget reviews, they're live, they're on Teams, they're live, they're recorded, and the packet is always available for public.
You could always come too. I'm telling you right now, it's very eye-opening and interesting. If there's parts of it that you want me to tell you that, you should show up at or something, I could always let you know, but you learn a lot. I had some downtown folks come and they were like, wow. I mean, it's overwhelming. But if you ever want to come, we can make a seat for you and sit with the rest of us. So let me know.
I'd love that.
Yeah. Send it to me.
So those are the big changes that we're presenting or asking that you guys give us just a head nod that these are okay and that's what you want to see. And that will happen starting next month.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I have
That's
a
really
question, not in line with the people we're talking about coming in presenting. I know in meetings in the past, we've had, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've had public participation that definitely goes well over 3 minutes. Am I incorrect that we've had some people come in and talk for 20, 30 minutes at a time, and then we go to do our meeting and we're scrambling to get
They
back
weren't
through it?
public participation, they were agendized.
They were, okay,
Yeah, so that's the difference.
okay.
And give them a time limit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some in here where it's kind of like, hey, this is really great, but we got business to attend to. Right, and I don't know the proper way to not be rude and say, hey, can you stop talking? So
Well, the best way is to let them know up front. Here's how much time they have.
Yeah.
The bike scooter one got
That's
away
what
from
I'm
all of
thinking.
us, and I
It was like
am never
45
getting, I'm
minutes.
never getting that hour back. I am
still think
never
about
ever
that.
getting it back.
I think you were both online. I was here telling everybody like, no more questions.
So we can give them a time limit and that's fine. That's easy to do.
I would love that. I mean, I feel
Because in
like
terms of public participation, I think we've maybe had one person participate in 10 years that I've been doing this.
so it's more agenda.
It's the agendized guest.
Yeah,
If it makes you feel any better, I have tons of commissions I have to go to, and I get to hear the same one over and over again, where I'm like, if I have to hear about the regional plan one more time, I can recite it, and I'm even working that department. But anyway, yeah, we'll tell them time limit.
Yeah, I think even if they could do it 10 minutes, because the time in here is so precious. And the chair kind of has to keep that 10. Yeah.
Okay, do we need
Cut
a little
'em off.
stoplight in here? Green, yellow, red.
I know.
Carrie's our, Carrie,
Actually,
she's ruthless anyway.
just to let you know, I do tell them they only have 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they gain the license sometimes when the questions keep coming in and just feel, oh, okay, I have more time.
Yeah. And oftentimes it's the presiding officers also kind of managing the time, kind of heads up, we have a hard stop at a specific time and give the speaker and the commission like, we have 20 minutes to discuss this.
Fingers on that they have.
Presentation.
Yeah.
We'll give
Get the
Regina
camera
a
off,
gavel.
turn their mic on.
Okay.
Kick a commissioner under the table if they keep asking.
We're gonna need a smaller table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't reach.
People kept asking.
Front age.
Are we good?
Speaking of the agendized item, because we brought it up at the retreat strategic planning last week, and at a previous meeting, I believe it's about an action item where we as a commission urge council to include in the city's legislative agenda for federal, calling on our congressional delegates as well as Arizona delegates to pursue the carve-out visa that extends to the entire state, not just Tucson, that goes for tourism.
They've done theirs, Trace. They've done their
Because
state and federal, but what I can do is submit that to Sarah Langley,
Yeah,
and she'd have to bring that back up to council.
yes, because we had that for council in 2019, and then I went with former Mayor Coral and former Vice Mayor Jamie Whelan to DC and discussed this in 2019. So with,
Well, I could propose a
Yeah.
path forward is that I would have Ryan go ahead and do the research for you to find out what is the precedent? What has happened already, so you're not recreating any wheels.
yeah,
Give you that
Yeah.
information, and then from there you could determine if there was a plan of action you wanted to take, and a piece of that would be to give it to our legislative. I think that is one of the most genius things we can do
Yeah.
as a tourism commission is
advocacy,
reinvigorate
yes,
that in particular.
yes.
Trace, do you mind if Trace, do you mind if I send out what's currently the state and federal priorities for the council, or carried rather, so that you'll see what's already been approved. And then as far as tourism, under transportation and infrastructure for state legislative priorities, we have the Flagstaff Pulliam Airport listed to protect the state aviation fund, which is similar to HERF, and emphasize the need to use funds for airport maintenance and operations, and to discourage transfers out of the fund for non-aviation expenditures. It's been to a tune of $100 million swiped from that fund, and it should be going to airports like our size so that we don't have to put pressure on the general fund. So that's one of those. As far as community infrastructure, short-term rentals, work with stakeholders supporting legislation to allow for local regulations over residential properties used as short-term rentals and ensure equity with the hotel industry. So that's another one for state. We'll send these out so that you can make your own comments. And then for federal, they have again, our Flagstaff Pulliam Airport to advocate for funding for projects included in the airport 5-year capital improvement program, which is huge. We have about $4.4 million in deferred maintenance at the airport. And specifically the need for discretionary construction funding for the upcoming new snow removal equipment building. So basically FAA gave us a bunch of snow equipment and nowhere to house it. So we've been working on that project for a very long time. And that's something Bob Holmes, our federal advocate, is working on. So those are the ones that I see right now in here that are affecting you. Of course, housing, all of the other things that they talk about affect you. So let me send this. Again, Carrie will send this out to you. Take a look at it. And then we could always put this on an agenda and then you can ask how you want us to look at other types of things like this. Like for instance, Michael, you and I talked about, if there's a bill or something like that, that you want them to follow. What you do is you can talk about it in this meeting. I get told by Trace if I'm not here, normally I'm here, even if I'm online. And then I bring that down back to Sarah Langley and her team, which is our legislative liaisons. And then they talk to either the state consultant or the federal consultant. And then they also then bring something forward to council to say, do you want to pursue this? Do you want to help on this? And I'll be honest with you, I've hardly ever seen a council not want to support you on something. It's just how much can they, or what will it make a dent? Will it, what will it do? So we can do some of that for them as well. And now that you're talking about it, I'll make sure before these go to council, and normally it's always in January. Thank you, Councilmember Asling's going to probably bail me out of here. That these come before you so that you can take a look at them as well.
The other item we were talking about, and I see was the Grand Canyon entrance fees.
There was a letter being produced by the mayor. There's action on that item, but if the Tourism Commission wanted to create their own action on that item, we certainly.
Or co-sign with the mayor to try to add some weight to it.
And I'm not sure, Heidi, do you know where we are in that process?
I think that letter for the national park already got taken care of by the mayor and went out, but I'll verify that with Sarah Langley. And it is a good lesson for me and Trace that we could have brought that letter back here had you, maybe you might want to add something to it, tweak it, maybe even wanted to sign it. So we will make sure that those types of things get back in front of you in an expedited fashion. I will say our city manager, Joanne Keene, was the one that said, Mayor, please, 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 let's get a letter drafted for this. And that's when they work with their public affairs team. Go ahead, council member.
Yeah, I was just going to add, this is something I can bring up during liaison reports too, just to sort of prime the pump and grease the skids a little bit with other council members. I mentioned during the Discover Flagstaff retreat that, the items that go onto our legislative priorities are pretty heavily guarded because if it gets too diluted with too many things, no one can pay attention to or remember what it is that we want. But there is as you guys have been discussing, there is a process for getting priorities. And this makes a lot of sense for me as just a line item of something that can quickly be mentioned and given some lip service to whenever we have those conversations at the state or federal level. So help remind me during liaison reports to mention that there's an appetite within the commission for bringing some of these concerns to our legislative priorities, and I will happily share that out with council in the way that I can.
What's the process that we do that through you, Carrie?
Say that again.
Councilmember Aslan asked us to remind him of the items that we want.
Yeah, I think Carrie can do that, or Heidi, when liaison reports appear on the agenda. Just pop me an email. If you want to, you can even provide some wording and I'll just use that directly. Or I can do it off the cuff as well. But if there's a little script I can go off of, I'll probably hit more details and be a little bit more responsible with the messaging.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. just submit it through us and I'll make sure even if council member Aslan takes really great notes, I'll send it to him again. And that way it's not, he has so much going on.
Yes.
And then, and sometimes I also need to know where Sarah Langley and others might be already working on something so that we all are not like all over the place. So yeah, we'll coordinate that.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right, we're good. Moving to item H. Heather, I saw that you were online. Do you can you share some of the attractions reports updates, please?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I know my face is huge on the screen right now. This is Heather Craig from Lowell Observatory. Let me share my screen for the Northern Arizona Attractions Report. All right. So this is the report for January, reporting on December. So here we have the weather for Flagstaff. This is snowfall. Let's just say snowfall's been a bit down this year. So it's a little bit dry. So in December, they reported 1 inch in Flagstaff. And then here is the precipitation, which is rain, and they reported just about 1 inch of rain in December, which is vastly different from 2024. So just a very mild winter this year, as Angie can probably attest to. And then here are the monthly attraction visitation numbers through December. And then up in this corner, I did add, because it is the end of the year, I did add just the 2024 versus 2025 difference for all of the attractions. And so we were all down 11.64% from 2024, with only 2 months above 2024, August and December. And with this report, I just want to remind everybody, if I am missing a visitation number, like say from the Rorton Mansion or a state park, I do go back that previous year and adjust those numbers to be apples to apples, so that we're getting accurate comparison data.
Thank you for that.
Of course. And then here is the Grand Canyon total monthly visitation for all entrances. Again, I did the 2024, 2025 as a total. They're also down 11.24% from 2024. So our Northern Arizona attractions that I'm reporting on in the Grand Canyon, although the numbers are vastly different, our year-over-year change from 2024 is almost the same. So that's consistent with Flagstaff visitation and Grand Canyon visitation, using that as a comparison. But the Grand Canyon was down in August and in December comparative to the city or our Northern Arizona attractions.
So Grand Canyon was up in January, February before the big tariff stuff hit in March. And it just really goes to show how powerful the Grand Canyon is.
On the
They're down
fire,
11%. All of our attractions are down 11%.
that fire got like,
Yeah.
Yeah, as well as like getting the word out that the south entrance was still open during the fire and all of that stuff. And then also with the government shutdown, that also affected the Grand Canyon. And then
2025. Hell of a year.
what a year. And then here's some upcoming events, some good positive things to talk about. So Cody may have brought it up to everybody, but we do have Lowell Observatory has the iHeart Pluto Festival coming up in February, February 12th through the 16th. You can get the full agenda on iHeartPluto.org. Arizona Snowball has Family Fridays, as well as pass holder load early day this on the 24th. So if you're an Arizona Snowball pass holder, you get to get on the lifts an hour early. And then Meteor Crater is continuing with their full rim hikes every Sunday, as well as the Museum of Northern Arizona is doing Twilight Thursdays, which is a new thing that they've started doing, I believe. And so they're open a little bit later to enjoy their collections until 7 p.m., as well as they're opening the new Colorado Plateau collection. Member previews start on January 31st. And then looking ahead into 2026, I know there's been a lot of discussion about what everybody else, like what the rest of the Tourism Commission is doing. And I just want to open this up for discussion of if there's anything else you'd like to see in this report. I know midway through last year, I got together with Trace and Cody, and we sat down and kind of revamped this report. But if there's anything that you guys would like to see or would like me to change, I would love to hear that. Or anything.
I actually like seeing the percentage year over year total. Helpful, and the one-to-one was helpful.
Yeah, and I can keep that up in the corner, like as like if we're January and February, I can keep that percentage up in that corner, just to see where we're kind of tracking throughout the year, as well as the individual months.
Hello, this is Trace. I just want to say I really appreciate keeping things apples to apples. It's very important. And so I'm seeing that more since we talked, and that's perfect.
Yay.
I've got a comment or question. Are we looking to put too much into that? I agree with Cody. I love the percentages. It's a quick glance. But what did we all do when we were here? We mentioned the fire. We mentioned tariffs. Does it make sense in a report like that to have, so when maybe we're looking at this on our own, we can kind of reference that because I was like, hey, when was the fire again? Like I said, July.
So list
That had
impacting
too much
events.
information on there, but just kind of reference points like an asterisk.
Helpful,
Where
yeah.
I don't want to, again, I don't.
I love it.
Yeah.
Put too
Yeah.
much crap on.
Yeah, I can go in and put like if something like if a fire happened that month, or if something like kind of what has
Yeah.
happened to
Yeah.
potentially affect visitation across all of the attractions.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful, Heather, just like if we look at March and we're like, holy crap, we're up so much. I thought we were gonna be down. And then it's like, oh, well, last year the tariffs were announced and now we're back. We're still under 2023. Like that discussion is helpful for us so that we don't get a false sense of security or a false sense of panic. That can help guide our conversations.
Absolutely. Happy to add that in.
And please, reach out to a few folks. Because you may not, you may miss or may not hear about all the events. And so kind of you have to do a little bit of homework around that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heather, this is a lot of work for you. Thank you. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I love numbers and data, and I know Angie, I think we're on like just the email chains are crazy, and everyone's now kind of into the rhythm of hearing from me at the beginning of the month, and some of our attractions have like automatic emails to send out to me, and they're like, oh, this is what this number is. I actually enjoy doing it. I love seeing kind of what everyone else is doing and how everyone else is doing. So I'm happy to do it. So thank you.
Right?
Can I ask a crazy question? I should know this, but I don't. Do we offer her a software to use for someone to input this information?
Just using Excel and.
Oh yeah, I just use Google Sheets, and so I just shoot an email to our the attractions, and they just send me the visitation for the past month, and then I use national parks to get their numbers, and then I have it in what Cody might call my convoluted brain of spreadsheets. And so I use that, and then just put it into the PowerPoint. So I don't think I need another software unless there's we want to do that.
I'm pleased with the reporting, but Heidi, did you have a impetus or reason behind that question?
I was just trying to make sure that there's more than Heather on this, because it's hard. Like, let's say Heather says, wow, I've got to go on a sabbatical for 3 months. Who's going to do this? And no one raises their hand. That if there was a software that we, like a link that we could send out to people and say, it's please, click on this link and input your information. There was a way we could get that data if Heather wasn't able to be compiling it.
Sure, and I'm going to turn to Cody because Heather works for Cody.
Okay.
And if Heather goes on a sabbatical.
Cody would be very sad.
I have threatened to write her up for not taking a day off in a year, so I might force her to take a sabbatical one of these days.
Cody,
yeah.
I'm going on a real vacation this year. Please leave me alone.
Yeah, I think that in that case, Lowell has the internal resources to continue that, just because at my disposal, I have about 50 science and computer nerds who can help put that together. So I guess from that aspect, I think Lowell can remain committed to providing that for the Tourism Commission. But I think that it is a valid note is, in this process and access to that, making sure that someone maybe from the city also has the same amount of access, just so that we're all, that transparency and equality of access is still there. Even if we have someone who can jump in and make the numbers happen. I think having someone on the city side who still has access to everything that we have would be helpful.
There would be just a little redundancy.
Just a little redundancy
It's
is
really
never a bad
ultimately
idea.
our responsibility to have it reported out, not yours.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah,
we-
and I think is it on the Google sheet, Heather? Who's on that? I think we might already have, but there's no SOP. So maybe we need to think of what that SOP is for redundancy.
I just added Trace as an editor onto the Google sheet, just so that it's shared, but I can work up an SOP for this as well, just so it's more set in stone. In case I ever decide to take a sabbatical or something, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
One day. I'll have a cold and be like, oh, I took a day last year off.
And now Cody's gonna be like, Heidi, she never is at work anymore.
Yeah, Cody got mad at me because my only vacation days last year were sick days, so.
Yeah, she could take flexible, she could have a month off if she wanted. I would encourage you, Trace, if you want anyone else on that, just consider that co-owner doc.
Okay.
Someone who wouldn't obviously go in and have Heather have a panic attack if all the numbers have changed or something different, but
please don't touch them.
Heather, I think you and I are a good team.
Yeah.
So just Trace goes and deletes it all. I would cry. I would take a sabbatical to cry. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm so excited.
Heather, you're wrong. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll just finish this off with, this is where I get all my data sources from. So in case I do leave or something, these are the people that I contact every month for the numbers. So I like to say thank you to all of them because they take their time out of their day to get me their numbers. And yeah, so that is all I've got. Thank you guys so much for all of your feedback and input. It's really helpful.
Thank you.
It's appreciated. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We are at 2:39, so we've got about 20 minutes for the director and staff report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, Tourism Commission. Really appreciate the vote today. And we have a presentation. It is greatly shortened to what you've had in the past. So this is sort of the last month that we just go through that presentation. And I think we can get it done in that amount of time if that's okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Start with earned media.
All right, abbreviated presentation, as you notice, Ryan is out of the office. He's actually in New York with multiple meetings with journalists. So some good stuff, I'm sure that he will he will share upon his return. Yeah, thank you, Ralph. This is a very high level, and he was a little sensitive in me presenting the slide because December was a knockout home run. So over the Grand Slam kind of thing. And in brevity, that first paragraph, we had more media requests for the month for Pinecone Drop than the total media sets in the same month last year. So that itself speaks volumes. Recognizing our time limitation, I'm going to kind of leave it there, table the carrot for y'all next month when he's here and he can tell the story when he has more time, because it really does warrant more time than we can give in this modified version today. Next slide, please. Modified meeting, not version. And there's just a high level of what he accomplished in its partiality.
All the security trucks looks so daunting.
There it is.
It's gotta happen.
Next slide, please. Any questions?
No.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'll take it from here. Thanks, Lori. So I'm just going to cover last couple of months. We kind of talked about national park fee increases. I've created this slide for you all so that you could see that we do have things in motion. The Arizona Office of Tourism has created some FAQs, and I can get this information to Carrie, which can forward it over to you. So I want to keep this quick. IITA has their talking points, which are quite helpful and great resource. We talked about the content that was drafted for the mayor. I do have a copy of that. What they chose to use from this content, I'm not exactly sure, but we will follow up and find out. But Heidi addressed that with some really great suggestions there. I also want to mention that I have had information come through from like tour operators. This is an example of Go West Tours that did give me what they had submitted. So I'm sure that they would love for you to echo some of this information as well. So again, I can get this content to Carrie that can then get it to you guys. Sending the concerns, for example, Go West Tours with Emmanuel, he sent it directly to the Department of Interior, that's the contact, and to the National Park Service, which was Jessica, and some helpful links there. You guys do have this slide digitally, so you can revisit it, and then we'll get the additional content. Any questions about that information or comments about the national park fees and where we're at?
Thank you for sharing all that.
Absolutely. So on the next slide, I did share some of this at the last retreat, so I don't need to go into it too much. I think you kind of got the picture last time, but that was the activity that occurred over the last 3 months. Going to the next slide, campaign results. This I did not share yet. This is a co-op with Arizona Office of Tourism and Hayes Travel. We had some excellent results from that campaign. And I just want to share that this was offered to other DMOs in the state. So each DMO and with the AOT paid for this campaign. And it was about $2,700 per DMO. And I just want to give you a high level of stats. This is specific to this particular post, which is absolutely beautiful, highlighting our ponderosa pine forest, and a great shot of somebody whom we know, a local model. Trace may recognize, but anyway, he's forest bathing. So, but in this campaign, I'm just going to read what Melina Conroy, she's the Senior Travel Industry Marketing Manager at AOT. She shared that it delivered very strong positive results based on passenger and room night bookings during the campaign period. Overall performance exceeded last year's results, and the ROI on estimated in-destination spend from the bookings. So passengers booked 18% more than the same period last year. The time frame for this campaign was September through 23rd through November 18th. Total room nights booked from the campaign, 830, or up 12% from the previous year. And forecasted in-destination spend over $450,000. And the estimated ROI was just over 30 to 1. So approximately $30 generated for every $1 invested. So a great campaign that was offered through the Arizona Office of Tourism. And I do have a more details and full report if you guys are interested, but just let me know. Questions on that slide? Comments? Okay. Moving on to the next one. We have the RMI trip report. So the RMI trip report is something that is purchased. Last year, I got it for about $2,500. Now, this report includes a product inventory for 2025, the estimated visitor spend, and the 2024 bookings. This particular report that I just got is a co-op with Arizona Office of Tourism. So they pay for the contract, and I purchased just the Flagstaff results. And it only cost us about $1,000 this year because we built up a relationship and I got some AOT dollars. So that was really good use of budget funds. But it covered Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, the German speaking, as well as India. So Commissioner Salas, you'd asked about India. So the result for India was rather interesting. And just the detail on there, for Flagstaff, there are 6 tour operators that sell Flagstaff product that are directly from India. So it's got a lot of growth potential there. But for now, the heavy lifting is going to be done by the Arizona Office of Tourism. And then we'll pivot to see how it grows in our destination and provide content on that. For this trip report overall, for this time frame and these markets, visitor spend in Flagstaff is 2.7 million. Overnights books over 6,000 room nights booked, and tour operators offering Flagstaff itineraries and destination use is 35. Of those, 6 of those are the India tour operators. So when these opportunities come up for this type of data, I can utilize these reports because it tells me specifically, this is the tour operator, and I happen to have met with that tour operator, and they're from Germany. So I can see a direct result of our efforts as a tourism bureau and how our efforts are impacting their itineraries and getting Flagstaff on there. So they're staying another night or 2 nights, and we're increasing that visitor spend. So it's a really valuable report. I do have it all in a binder. I have it digitally. So if you want to dive in deeper, let me know, and I'm happy to do that. Next slide. All right, you guys have heard a lot about the America 250 and Arizona's role. So we developed these beautiful logoed stickers. I have this last one. We have more on order. So I have one to show you, but with the America 250, I serve on the Arizona America 250 Commission as a voting member. So we do have a voice at the table for Flagstaff. And then I can present input saying we need more things to happen in Coconino County. And that was a direct result of the digital passport. They had collected 250 sites. And it's like, well, we need more from Coconino County because I can't just say Flagstaff. I do like to do that, but we have, of course, Lowell on that digital passport. So if you go to your internet settings and you go to this website, you can download the digital passport and go check in at Lowell Observatory. You win prizes. Same vendor as we use, which is Banwingo, and it's on the Arizona Office of Tourism site. So Flagstaff Visitor Center is a redemption location. Of course, we mentioned this last time, Mother Road, congratulations as being the official Arizona America 250 beer. We're just so one of these days you'll bring some cans so we can see this gorgeous can art.
I can tell you that cans, everything's been proofed off and they are arriving by the 29th.
Awesome. Of this month, like in a couple days.
Like in a couple days, because this will go live on the 14th down at Strong Beer Festival. And then if the cans do arrive when they're supposed to, there's going to be a little sneak peek at the Flint Foundation for the 5 C's of art down there. So it's going to be kind of fun.
So amazing. So amazing. Congratulations. Looking forward to all of that action, which segues right to the traveling museum. This is going to be their large vehicle. I mean, I guess I can release this. A lot of this is not going to be released till next week, but I did have a meeting. This is the vehicle. This is without all the graphics, but it's big and it will be traveling around the state of Arizona. And Sorry?
Standard 18-wheeler is what
Ye-
it looks like.
Yeah, it's large and in charge. So it's gonna have all these graphics on there and more information that will be released early next week. So check your social media for this program. Flagstaff is involved, I can say that. And
So did we get some imagery?
Um,
Does Northern Arizona flag have imagery on this truck?
we have some ponderosas.
Don't even get me started.
And we have some
Which
representation.
explains why we have a logo that we want to use, because
Yeah.
our logo just says desert and
And we worked on that, and other destinations developed their own logos as well, so.
Yeah,
that. So we do have some representation on the exterior of the vehicle with some ponderosa pine trees, I can say that.
thank you.
And we do have representation on the interior of the vehicle, and I can say that the dark skies, Pluto and Lowell will be well represented. So it's going to be super cool. So that's coming, and it kind of goes with the Strong Beer Festival, which is on the 13th or 14th, I think.
14.
So there'll be a special event with this Arizona America 250 Traveling Museum on that day too in Prescott. I think I can say that. Follow on social at the @ America 250 AZ on X, Threads, Facebook, and Instagram. So please do that. Sign up. Again, that's at America 250 AZ, or just do your search on Instagram for Arizona America 250 and follow them because you're going to get great information. And then I do have a meeting scheduled. Oh, that says February 13th. It's actually February 14th. So for that launch. And then April 23rd, I'll have a special meeting that you'll be invited to, and it's with the state parks. It'll be at Reardon, and it will be with this committee. So I will get you guys the invitation as more details come out on that. And they want to go to Lowell, so I'll talk to you.
Yeah, no problem.
Any questions on the activity? Okay, so moving on to marketing, there's some really fun things. I won't go into it too much because we are short on time, but the Bonnetell travel planner for luxury market. The luxury market, we are an elevated destination. I know Arizona Office of Tourism is recognizing us more as a luxury market as well. So we are advertising in their annual publication. It's very high end. Brand USA uses it. It goes all over the world. It's available digitally at trade shows and as well as a printed copy as well. So it's really a step in that direction because we haven't advertised in that before. And it's a beautiful ad. So thank you, creative team. The annual Visit USA travel planner in the UK, co-opt with Arizona Office of Tourism and with Williams. And then we have some excellent e-newsletters that have got some content. I have to do a shout out to Andrew, the international travel trade intern, who is back for another term.
Go, Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been very helpful. He's an expert on translator software now. Is it DeepL?
People.
Yes, and works with those representatives in Germany and in Belgium, and we're happy to see that the Whispering Winds as well as Lowell Observatory and What to Do in Arizona got published. So that was International Dark Skies.
Meg, do we have anyone after you, or are you the flag?
No, I'm actually Jessica.
Okay, so
And
we'll have
then
to move
Moving on.
quicker.
6 minutes. Moving on, and you've already seen this, next slide, is looking ahead, and that's what's happening as we go forward.
Perfect. I will jump in and I'm going to stick to this because I have a time to do this fast. Next slide.
One more thing.
Okay.
There's a bunch of marketing examples on the table. Please grab those magazines and take a look.
Thank you. All right, so here's a snapshot of numbers so far for this fiscal year. 13 leads have gone out. As of today, 11 have booked. And this is the lead sent room nights, but out of the bookings, it's 1,791 rooms and a little over $500,000 in estimated economic impact. The reason that number is higher than this number is one of the leads that just booked this week is from last fiscal year. So it was sent out, so it was in the reporting that you saw at the annual. Sometimes they roll over before a contract signed. So that's why that doesn't line up. Next slide. The past few months, I've attended small and boutique meetings fall with High Country Motor Lodge. We had a great number of appointments at this one. 2 planners were very interested in Flagstaff. One of them is funded from an astrology group and so the stars and Lowell is like a huge thing that they really want to come see with the new ADC. And the other one, actually, we continued conversations with both of them, and she is coming out with her coworker the first week of February. And in our conversations, planning her family trip for 2 weeks from now, they have officially selected Flagstaff as a destination and High Country Motor Lodge as their property. So that was a very exciting one. And then Trace and I attended Destination Southwest, and we had some really good appointments. Talked with one of my planner contacts out of the Phoenix area, and she has booked a group since this so far as well. She has not responded with what hotel it went to. I may need to talk to you because it could have been you. So I will find that out for reporting. And then I attended the Arizona Society of Association Executive Gala with 3 different hotel owners. So that was awesome that they were able to go down with me. And then upcoming next week, I'll be in Dallas with Little America, and then come back for my fam, and that planner is attending the IPEC conference. So her and I will be driving to the show together after that. So getting some more time, which is awesome. Next slide. Oh, and the Navajo Nation Mission, sorry, that's scheduled for March. We did finally get dates. That went out today. I've added the new offering. We may have shown this, but I wanted to show this one. This was the airport signage welcoming. This is for any group that knows if they have people flying in, they can send us a logo. Our marketing team at the airport will get it up, and our visitor center at the airport will get the signs up in their area. So it's just another way of showing them that we love them coming in. And I will speak to this group again in a moment. Next slide. I spoke to the FAMs and site visits in the previous slide. I've roped in Commissioner Komnick for this one because it's a very unique conference that is with artists and trying different mediums, and our community is going to be so perfect for it. So I'm very excited. I was also asked to start sharing trends, so I'll include that in the future meetings as requested. I covered them last week, so we don't need to do that today. The 2025 group recap is Council Member Matthews last week asked about how many groups Flagstaff hosts on average. So I did reach out to the 4 larger properties with meeting space. And last year it was about 650 groups that had a meeting space component that were booked in Flagstaff. To kind of give you a picture, that does not include sports groups, tournaments, bands, or rooms only. This is with the meetings component. So if we want to dial more into that, we can talk about that in the future and see what hotels are willing to share. They have to give me those numbers for that, but it's an awesome market, and it shows it's been holding steady, and we're really happy to see that with everything else going on. And then let's see, last bullet with what destinations we're looking for, and I can cover this. That was another request, so I can move forward with that in the next meeting for sake of time. But any questions on the meetings market? I do have one article I'm going to pass around. This was an awesome earned media article that NASPA, the group from the airport, I connected them to her. And I just want to read this one quote. I almost forgot. She put, so they had their event at High Country Conference Center in partnership with NAU. They ended up with 601 in-person attendees from over 24 countries coming in for this one this past summer. And she put, while we initially had some concerns about attendees traveling into Flagstaff, whether flying into Phoenix and driving up or covering the higher cost of flying directly into Flagstaff, we quickly learned those worries were unfounded. Travel logistics didn't present a real barrier, and our attendance actually exceeded expectations. Yeah, it's kind of so huge, great. Article.
They were in DC
Yeah.
last year, and they're going to Seattle next year. So the fact that they can demand this market,
Yeah.
it's not really comparable in size. They had a really good time.
They had to get very creative with space, and they had a welcome reception at Lowell.
I need that
awesome.
quote in the air service grant that I'm trying to
Okay,
get.
yeah. Look at that.
I like the full quote of Flagstaff highlighted on the.
Yes, and they got the
By
front
way.
quote. I love it. They put Flagstaff first.
No, that was a good group.
Yeah.
All right.
Back to you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Commission, thank you for letting us present.
We're at 3:00.
Can I do a drop off?
Quick.
I do want to share that Atrium Restaurant effective last night
Or yesterday. was officially recognized by James Beard as a semifinalist, as staff in the Southwest. Wow. That's right. Yeah. So semifinalist, if you see her out on the streets, that's just, you guys know, that is a big deal. So I just wanted to call that. to
So
your mind.
everybody, we have a group waiting outside to use this room.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.